Hello, year 4, and it is time for maths. Oh, yeah. If you do a Google search and put in MathSpot, B-O-T, MathSpot, you'll get something up here called MathSpot at the top, MathSpot Manipulatives. So that's what I've put into my search engine. If I click on the top hit, I'm going to get these manipulatives here. Don't be put off by the fact that it says, here you go, just wait for this to load. Manipulatives there, scroll down, and we've got bar modeling that we've done before. We've got fraction walls, all sorts of useful things. Don't want an advert, thank you. There's a fraction wall that we've done before. If I go back, if I can go back, let me go back like that. Typical, the time I want it to go back, it won't. What if I use the pen? Will the pen help me go back? Whoa. Nope. Okay. If you wanted to look at place value, we're trying to work out how many tens. You can always make these bigger and use place value tickets. That can make you build numbers in ones, tens, hundreds, and you've got decimals over on this side. What else have we got in MathSpot that you might find useful? Yeah, that's probably it for now. You've got some nice fun things like tangrams here, where you can manipulate the shapes to make different animals and objects and things. So yeah, useful website that I thought you might be interested in knowing, because sometimes it helps us with our maths. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, the Dean's blocks. When we're trying to represent numbers, obviously, we've got our thousands, we've got our hundreds. So if you want to see what they look like with their tens as well and their ones, if you want to look at those, then obviously you can use this thing as well. That's quite a good one, the Dean's blocks, if you like working with those to do your calculations. The bar model I've used a little bit in school. Where's the bar model? Yeah, this one here, where you can put in the value of something and then you can add parts onto it to make things look or change differently. So all those things are quite useful. Looking of the work from yesterday. So this was the first activity that you had to do yesterday. Let me get to green then. If we're going to mark something. Oh, Mr. Bow, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? There we go. Those two match up. Those two match up. Those two match up. Those two match up. And those two match up as well. And we're back. 500 centimeters is mashing onto, whoa, 5 meters. There we go. Blue, thank you. And the next set of questions was to do with the centimeters and millimeters. 2 is 20, 10 goes to 1, 100 is just 10 centimeters, 50 is just 5, and 25 is 2.5. Well done. Okay, yesterday's work, we were doing the doubles. You're going to have to use a calculator. So you can often just find a calculator online if you want to. Let me see. I've got a tab here and I put calculator. Online. And if I put something like kids, otherwise you'll get a strange one. You can come up with something like this. And you can simply put in your number, whatever you got up to. Say you were doing 2 times 2 equals 4. times 2 equals 8, and so on. Even if you've got huge numbers like 580 times 2 equals. Okay, so use an online calculator to check your work from yesterday. Thank you. Pause the video now. Where are we? Class flow. Right. So today we're doing halving, and you can see a couple of models at the top of the page which show us how to halve. Look carefully at the two examples. I think, just my opinion, that this one is more difficult than this one. Can somebody explain why? It's a smaller number, it's only 272, whereas this number is bigger. Here it's 426. But why is this side more difficult? Have a think. Okay, I'll show you what I think. See if you agree. 426, they're partitioning it like so and halving it at the same time. I will put an extra step in and I will say it's 400, I'll partition it first, and it's 20, and it is 6. Then I will partition it into its 200, and it's 10. Sorry, it's halving it into its 200, and it's 10, and it's 3. I'll put those back together to make 213. Here I'm going to do the same because I think the 7 is tricky. It's hard to halve 7. Sometimes it's where people get a little bit stuck. So when I partition 272, I'm going to make it 200. Let's just draw a little line down the middle here so we can see we're working on two different things. 270 and 2. Now I can halve 2. That's very straightforward. Half of 2 is 1. I can halve 200. That's 100. But sometimes people look at 70 and they say, well, it's an odd number. 7 is an odd number. That's going to be tricky to halve. If you're one of those people, that's fine. There's a good workaround you can do. If I take a dark blue, we can see that 70 can be split into 60 and 10. Do you agree? 60 and 10 makes 70. Now I can split the 60 in half, and that becomes 30. And I can split the 10 in half, and that becomes 5. So all I'm doing is adding together 100 and 30 and 5 and 1. So 136 altogether. 1, 3, 6. So watch that. If you have an odd number to half and it looks a bit tricky, all you've got to do is you've got to round it. Sorry, you've got to split it again into 10 and something. In this case, it's 10 and 60. Let's look at another example. Say I've got the odd number now is going to be in the hundreds. So I'm going to have, let's have 946. First of all, I'm going to partition it. So I've got 900, I've got 40, I've got 6. Now I'm going to half of it. Half of 6 is 3. Half of 40, half of 4 is 2. Half of 4 is 2, so I know that half of 40 is going to be 10 times bigger. It's going to be 20. Half of 9 I can't do. This is the one I don't like, so let's just highlight that by making a nice color. Let's go here with a brick red, like that. Look at that one. So I'm going to end up with, remember, it's going to be something and 100. So this time I'm going to have 800 plus 100. Now, let's just make that a little bit clearer. Plus 100. Now I can do the halves. Half of 800 is 400. Half of 100 is 50. And simply adding up again, I've got 400, 50, 60, 70, 3, 4, 7, 3. Okay, halving numbers. partitioning them, splitting them up, halving each of the ones, halving the tens, halving the hundreds, and then putting the numbers back together again. Always looking out for those odd numbers. When the odd number was in the tens, as it was down here, the 70, we had to split it into 10 and something. You always have 10 and something. And when you have the odd number in the hundreds, you always have 100, 100 and something. In this case, it's going to be 100 and 800. Then they're easy to partition and half. Okay, let's have a look. Spicy and spicier. Decide where you are going to start today, spicier or spicier. Set the workout just like I did, like this, so you can be sure of getting the answer right. And have a go at these. Pause the video now. Well done. This is the spiciest work. If you want to have an extra challenge, read through these two puzzles. Hannah drives from home to York and back. The total distance was 326 kilometers. How far from York is her home? So, if York is over here and her home is here, we know that she drives to York and back. So she goes all the way to York in her car and then she drives all the way back again. That distance, we are told, was 326. How far from York is her home? So you're doing the same maths that we did before. Because she's only going to York, she's only going in one direction. How far is that? So we're looking for half again. And all of these items in the shop are on sale. Find half price for each item. Now here you've got decimals. If you don't want to do halving of decimal numbers, you can simply convert them to pence. So if I look at E, for example, 984, sorry, £9.84 is going to be 984 pence. So instead I would be looking at the number 984 with no decimal point, and that's pence. And you can half that, see what your answer is, and then convert that back into pounds. Okay, good luck, well done, and I will see you next time.